What's up, everybody? This is Chris with More Balanced Training. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever wanted to start a podcast? Have you listened to podcasts and wondering like, hey, I could do that too? Well, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. Can't beat that, y'all. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other platforms. You can make money, ching ching, dollar bill, y'all, from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So what do you have to do? Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm today to get started. What are you waiting for? You got a lot to say. Might as well let Anchor help you. Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? How are you doing? This is Chris with More Balanced Training. Hope you're doing well. This is the second day of the podcast, second episode of More Balanced Training. I hope you're doing well. Just wanted to check in with you. I want to talk about talk a couple things that's on my mind. Nothing too serious. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe during this time of coronavirus. I hope you're doing safe, man. It's kind of crazy out here right now. I really hope that you're taking care of your bodies, eating healthy, taking your vitamins, your minerals, you know what I mean? Your vitamin C, all that stuff. Maybe one day, if you're okay, if you want to hear it, I'll do a topic and a talk about vitamins. So I wanted to talk briefly about just how do you get started in the fitness industry? How do you do it? What do you have to do? Do I have to go to school? Do I have to do all this? What do I do? Chris, tell me. Well, anyway, a lot of different things you can look at when trying to get into the fitness industry. You can have a degree, exercise science degree. You can have a different degree altogether. Be working in finance all these years. Get in shape one day, figure that, hey, fitness is for me, and then you have the ability to drive to want to help somebody, right? All different ways to get into fitness. So there's no right or wrong way. But I can give you some suggestions. So let me just give you tips. Like I said, if you listen to my first broadcast, I actually was a track and field coach for over 10 years. I didn't start out doing fitness, but fitness was always a part of my life. I started working out when I was 13 played football in high school for a couple of years. But track and field was my thing. I always like to run. I always like to race people. And so got to stay in shape. You're going to be in shape running 400 repeats and all that craziness right there. But anyway, I always worked out, understood at a young age how working out and exercise was actually beneficial in the off season to help prepare your body for a strenuous season. So, make a long story short, not going to get too deep into it, but I was coaching for over 10 years. So I coached at high school level in California. Then I coached in college. I actually internshiped at the University of Houston for a season. Then I went on to coaching D3 track and field in Illinois. That's where I ended up before I started transitioning on into another realm of things. So I was working for a company doing injury prevention, going around, different things like that. So again, that's besides the point. So took a few years off, left the country for a while, went to Kenya. Over there, I started beginning to do personal training because there was a demand for it. There was a guy who had his own gym that I was working for. And people, was interested in losing weight, getting fit. So I started personal training over there. Didn't need a degree, a certification, so to speak. But I do have a degree in sports science, like I said before in my previous broadcast. And So I use that with putting programs together for my athletes back when I was coaching. It made it a lot easier. It made it easier to actually come up with a program and do programming. So I started getting into it, learning the craft a little more, understanding how programs went, things of that nature, as opposed to athletes, but when it comes to general population. So very, very, very interesting, very, cool people I met. Fast forward, came back to the United States, started immediately working as a personal trainer because I wanted to stay in that field. Got a job at a gym in Illinois called Club Fitness. It's a very small gym, but they actually have a lot of different branches in the Midwest. Got my personal trainer certification. I was only able to afford the one through Nesta, and that was actually beneficial for me because of my finances at the time, because I said I just came back in the country. So I got certified through Nesta. Then I got certified through TRX. Then I got certified. Then I left Club Fitness and started working at Gold's Gym. Got certified as a corrective exercise specialist through NASM. And actually, even right now, along with me working on my master's in exercise science, I am working on another certification, personal trainer certification through NASM as well. So I say all that to say this. There's no right or wrong way in the how to get started, okay? So the thing is, if you have a passion, the number one thing is you have a passion to help somebody or help people reach their fitness goals, reach their weight loss goals, reach their training goals, trying to get faster, stronger, whatever the case may be, because you can work at a gym and find people that are in athletics that are trying to get stronger for that, understanding certain things, right? If you can find a gym or even find somebody to hire you, like some gyms, they'll give you 30 days or 90 days or whatever to get your personal trainer certification. That's what happened with me. If you can find that, get started that way, right? You don't necessarily have to have a degree to become a personal trainer, all right? You don't have to necessarily have a degree to become a personal trainer, all right? Although, I will say this, it is very helpful if you can understand the mechanics of the body and understand that this industry is always changing and that you always want to better yourself and educate yourself, right? Understand modalities, understand ergonomics, understand all these different things to make yourself a better trainer, right? Understand, get other certifications. There are all types of certifications. The fitness industry has been doing great as far as educating the people, the field. There's multiple certifications amongst multiple platforms. ACE has multiple certifications. There's the ACSM, NASM, all these different outlets have multiple certifications. Study. Understand the body, okay? So the thing that you don't want to do is be able to get in front of clients and not know what you're talking about. All right? You don't want to be talking and not understand that you're talking about the humerus instead of the femur, right? Don't want to do that. Not going to work. Very crazy, all right? And people, you have people out there that don't understand about fitness, but there are people that do, and if they hear something like that, you'll have a problem. So please understand your body, understand all these different things, understand the different mechanisms, the mechanics. You don't have to go so far and understand the deep physiology of the body. We're not doctors, but understand, research. I can't stress that enough. Know what you're talking about, okay? So if you don't have a degree, like I said, make sure you study. Get a certification. All right? Make sure that you are marketable. All right? That's what you want to do. So next thing I suggest is if you're going to go the route on social media, right? I'm very new to the social media outlet, but however, make sure that when you are doing social media that, again, you understand your audience, you know what you're talking about. Please, I can't stress this enough, do not do what I've seen on certain social media like Instagram and those places, those platforms. Don't just create content to create content. Don't create content that the normal person cannot do. Exercises. Don't make up stuff, right? Don't make up stuff that could potentially get somebody that's watching this hurt. I know it's, people's attention spans are like microwaves nowadays, and everybody wants the fast results and everything like that. Don't do that. Don't do that. It may get you followers. It may get you money in the long run. And granted, everybody's here to make some money. Even me, I'm training. I'm selling personal training sessions and all that stuff. But make sure you got value in what you're doing and what you're saying to be able to help people legitimately, right? Don't do something and then somebody follows it and then they end up getting hurt by what you suggested. Bad look. All right. Other thing I can say is this. Make sure that you don't, how do I say this? Make sure that you research the information that you're putting out there. There's scientific studies that can back up anything and everything that you want to talk about, whether it be from core training, from nutrition, the effects on dorsiflexion when running, all that stuff. There's information out there. So if you got content, please try and back it up. All right. So it's a lot of that. That's the certain things that I would recommend. That you do trying to get into this industry. That's just bottom line, guys. Understanding your audience, understanding that people out there are watching you. Also remember too that even though we're personal trainers, unless you have a nutrition certification or degree, many of us are not licensed nutritionists. So be careful what you say to people. If you work at a gym, they'll say the same thing to you. Be careful what you say to people about nutrition and things like that, because if they do something and it's not effective to them, they could, it's not your. Just be careful. Just be careful with that when it comes to nutrition. If you're going to make recommendations, talking about what you do and what you eat, as far as meal prep and things like that, fine. That's nothing wrong with that. But you cannot prescribe unless you have a license or a certification in nutrition. We cannot give prescriptions for nutrition. All right. What else can I say? So just those things that I would look at and think about if wanting to get into a career of this personal training or helping people with fitness and nutrition. If you're going to go the route of social media, fine, do that. But please make sure that your content is safe and that you are not just saying something off the wall. And the other thing I was going to say, I kind of forgot it, but I'm glad I remembered it. Don't lie to people. Yeah, right? Do not lie to people. The things that we see nowadays, that I see nowadays on social media or on TV is a lie. There's no 6 ways to a 6-pack abs. Just not going to happen. People neglect the number one thing when it comes to that as far as nutrition. Abs are made in the kitchen. If you haven't heard that saying, I'm not coining anything new. Abs are made in the kitchen. A nice diet, a diet that is sustainable. That's sustainable, right? A diet that you're not going to just totally limit somebody on what they're eating. That's not going to be able to be maintained for a long period of time. You want the food that they eat or the program that you put them on to be a lifestyle and not just, I'm on a diet. And one thing I tell my clients is what's the first 3 letters of the word diet? I don't think I'll leave that there for a second. So